You die once, and suddenly you're not invisible. Explore the story of Heed, who was a corpse for a while, but is back to life and trying to learn about just what had happened, only to discover the story is far stranger than that. Inspired by manga, Alter X Artifact is a new LGBTQ+ webcomic for mature readers revolving around magic and political espionage. This comic features fantastic elements, gripping storytelling, and impressive visuals that pull you into the strange but fascinating world of the comic. Alter X Artifact explores themes of magic, dreams, and relationships, all while deftly weaving a compelling mystery with eye-catching visuals. You're still in time to enjoy the exciting prologue as well, but you gotta hurry over on to the website. So, if you're looking for your next weekly webcomic read, you need to go to alterxartifact.com. That is alterxartifact.com. Now back to the show. Hello and welcome to the Distraction Hole for this week, the week of August 13th. No, it would be August 14th when it... No,
it's the 13th.
Okay, yeah.
Sunday's the start of the week.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like how to date this because the episode goes up when, usually?
Tuesdays.
Okay, so it would be the week of August 14th then.
Okay,
for
sure.
The Monday, or do we count weeks on Mondays or Sundays? What do we do?
I count them on Sundays.
You count them on Sundays? Okay, so we'll go with the 13th. Hi, I really fucked this intro up. Hi.
Hi, hello, welcome to Seeing the Backstage Sausage Making.
I am your host this week, regrettably, David Davis. With me, as usual, is the delightful Kevin Heyman.
Hey.
How you doing today, Kevin?
I am hating on the Enterprise J.
Yeah, there was quite a spirited discussion before we hit record. And then with us, as usual, is the sassy Mike. How are you, Mike?
Kevin's wrong for hating the J. It's not the best design ever, but it's not terrible.
Mike, it's a washer with thumbtacks. No, I just don't like it, and that's me. There's some people that like it, but it just looks like it's going to come apart the minute it hits impulse.
Well, that's the point. It's supposed to be futuristic and spindly, so it's supposed to look delicate, but, you know...
It's a ship built like a malnourished grandmother.
Oh.
This has been simultaneously petty and nerdy, which I appreciate.
Okay.
It's very much in line with our show here.
I think me and Mike can agree to disagree because we agree on so many other things with some of the starships. Mm-hmm. So,
well, this is the Distraction Hole. Every week we talk about things that we distract ourselves with to keep ourselves sane in an increasingly insane world. And I decided we're going to roll off a game right off the top. This is not a substitute for our normal game, but we're going to play Guess the Number. And
oh no.
Mm-hmm. So, how many celebrity birthdays are there today on IMDb? And I'll give you a hint. It's more than 1,000. Whoever gets closest without going over between the two of you will go first.
God. 4,000.
1,001, Bob.
Mike, you were the closest.
Okay.
And the actual number is 1,494.
Yeah, I went way over.
Yeah, when I heard you say 4,000, I was like, I'm doing the dollar bid.
Mike, you do really well on The Price is Right.
All right, so Mike, what did you distract yourself with this week?
Nothing like... So, other than some Dragon Con preparations, not anything specific. Continued to watch some Ranma, some Twisted Metal. Haven't gotten back to Tears of the Kingdom, surprisingly. Then again, that's the way I usually do. I'll just kind of like forget to play a game. Like I'll play every day. Boom, boom, boom. And then just one day I forget to play. And then I forget the next day and the next day. And I just, fall off the wagon for a bit.
Well, so, that's me too. I have that same sort of tendency.
So, nothing new. That's the problem. So I was going to talk a bit about I haven't really watched them this week much, but the See, that's the problem. I can never know exactly what to call them because they're not just the Batsu games, but the butcher this name trying to say it. The Downtown No Arhende, whatever the Japanese comedy like
variety type show.
Well, it's the extra stuff they do, not their normal. Well, I don't know if this may be their normal show, but they do a lot of like outside stuff. It seems a lot of kind of not even specials, but like they all go. What was one of them they did? They all went and they played this game, this rendezvous game where they all had to like separate and then try to get to guess where everybody's going based on, a keyword that the producers gave them. Or just they're driving around and they had to come up with 100 facts before they like finished their trip. And it had to be like inspired by things they saw along the way. Just all these kind of weird little games they do amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this like streaming on YouTube, or are you sailing the high seas?
No, it's there's a Twitch stream. The Twitch streamer is Father Jimmy on Twitch, just Father_Jimmy, and he's been playing them for several weeks now. And just there's a big range. Some of them are from the early 2000s and potato quality, real player quality. Even the late 90s, I think I've seen far back as like 96 and 97, and all the way up to recently. But also what's fun is they have like commercials that these guys have been in interspersed during the commercial breaks.
So that's cool.
Yeah, so you get
that
some some relevant commercials.
Now, kind of adjacent to this, you've seen Takahashi's Castle, right?
Oh yeah,
Takeshi's.
I guess there's a reboot or something. I keep seeing something popping up on my YouTube feed about like a new edition. I haven't seen it yet, but have you guys heard about that at all?
Oh wait, there's a new one, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew there was a new one, but that's all I know.
Okay, well, it seems like it'd be worth 48 minutes of my time, so I'll find that and watch it. But my first exposure to that was Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, which I missed that.
MXC, Guy Ledouche.
Guy Ledouche, yeah. So
Get it on.
Like you're kind of being a weeb here, Mike. So I guess my question is, why? Why? Yeah, why are you such a weeb?
So it all started in the summer of 1967. No.
That Asian lady kicked him in the balls.
No, I mean, really. So I guess I could blame Voltron and Robotech, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the beginning, I saw those as a kid. I really liked them, and then in high school.
Mike, were you like me when you were growing up and you saw anything anime and you didn't know what it was and you were like, that looks like Voltron or that looks like Robotech, and
sort
you'd
of.
watch it?
I think my dad might have known something. I don't know where the information exactly came from, but I knew that they were translations of Japanese shows.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Maybe he got it because he was a big Doctor Who fan. He might have gotten it from kind of like he had some like.
Probably Speed Racer or something, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do remember Speed Racer, too, as a really young kid. So he knew, I'm assuming he told me, because I can't think of anywhere else I would have gotten that information, that he knew that they were Japanese. So once I came to Mississippi here and hit high school, and what should I call him? Should I say his, I mean, it's a first name, so nobody will really know who it is, but.
Talking about Brian?
No, well, Barry.
Barry. Yeah,
well,
Barry.
We had a friend in high school who had an older brother who had a lot of, anime VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, we started, borrowing those and, making copies of them. First of them were like
Robotech.
Bubblegum Crisis was really the first one.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't really see Robotech again or
Well,
Macross.
you remember we borrowed the complete run of Macross and watched it in a weekend?
Yeah, but that was later, I think.
That was in high school.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because we were trying, like, real hard to finish it before you had to go home, and we had to go to school the next day. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. No, it was because we were watching it, and we're like, why a fish?
So I thought we didn't see Macross again until DVDs came out.
Oh, no, it was his brother's giant stack of fucking tapes.
VHS, okay.
Hell
So yeah, and then also, that coincided with anime becoming more available in the American market as far as, official licensed subtitled releases on
Tenchi
VHS.
Muyo.
So, whenever we'd have spare money, we'd go to Suncoast or one of the other stores that had a meager selection and, try to get something.
Yeah.
So it just spiraled out of control from there. And then, of course, we found the internet and, it was all over.
Yeah.
One of the first things I remember buying on the nascent eBay was Evangelion shit.
Of course.
Like, I bought, there were these like grabber claw, like pewter figures. I still have them in a box somewhere. They had like little wooden stands, but they're little, like, say, 2-inch tall character figures. And I got like the whole set of them. And I also bought, so, it's from Bandai. They were, they had a Evangelion range of, basically built like Gunpla models.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
They had so I gotten some of them, but they had the master grade Ava 01, and this thing was giant. It would have stood like, I think at the time when it came out, it was like $200 or something like that. And it was like about 1.5 feet tall or something like that.
Yeah,
It was
I
huge.
drew it in on Mike's desk in Coda's World.
But so I found that on eBay for like, it was like $40-50, something like that. It was dirt cheap. It was like someone had opened it and like half assembled it and just didn't want to finish it. So I had bought that, and it was the only time I ever bought anything that was COD, cash on delivery.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, that's neat. I've heard of it before. Growing up, there was all this stuff, all the TV commercials that said no COD and all this. So I knew it as a concept, but I'd never bought anything. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I can buy it, and I'll pay for it when it shows up. And I come home one day, and I was a working boy by this point, man, whatever.
A workman.
Workman, yes. I come home, and there's the beat up box sitting like on the steps of my house. I'm like, wow, that's really beat up, but I didn't have to pay for it. So I'm assuming it was so damaged that they just left it there. So I opened it up, and like the interior box was a bit mangled, like the actual, product box, but the parts were fine. Like, it wasn't damaged in any way that I could see, except for maybe a few minor pieces. I mean, it was a Model 2, so I'd fucking glue it back together. And so I had this, master grade Ava 01 that I never finished. I don't know why. I mean, I just kind of, it's one of those, it's like a lot of my projects, I never finished it.
Yeah.
I think I got like 2 scope creep set in. I was like, okay, well, I got this awesome thing. I don't want to just slap it together, because some of the parts, like, the swords and stuff were all just one color plastic. So, to really make it look good, you have to paint some of it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll paint it. Oh, I'm not painting it right now. I'll paint it later. Just
30
kick that
years
can down.
later.
Yes, literally 30 years later.
Well, now that you've revealed that it's unfinished, I think everyone wants you to finish it.
That's true. We probably do.
Yeah, I'll finish it, and my other Gundam sitting here on the desk, and the Transformers Flame Toys model kit I have, and the other one that just charged from Big Bad Toy Store this week. That's going to be shipping.
Like how much is left to do on the Eva?
I mean,
All
if I
of
want
it.
Well, no, I mean, so here's the cool thing about this. It was like, and I'm sad that I didn't get to do this part of it because it's what was already done before I got it. But it is like basically, so if you've done any Gundam type models, they have all the joints and everything. You build kind of like almost a internal skeleton that the armor attaches to.
Right.
Well, this is like that, but the internal skeleton is covered by a rubber suit that has holes where all the armor attaches to. It's that black under part, so it's seamless underneath all the armor, like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because I had a put together model of O1 as well, and it was a smaller scale, of course. But what I loved about it was the arms.
Yeah, they were over molded.
It was like a Barbie doll's knees.
Yeah, it was like an internal skeleton that they had molded over with a rubber coating.
It was real cool, man.
And I have to give it to them. They use some good freaking rubber, because I've seen mine lately, and usually rubber of that, how old that is, it starts to deteriorate and get all sticky and everything. That stuff is still rock solid. So they didn't use cheap crap on it.
Yeah.
Unlike my PlayStation 2 controllers, where the thumbsticks are all like goopy with all the covering on them.
I hate goopy controllers.
Yeah.
Mike, don't make me start looking up Gunpla and buying some, okay?
I'm honestly going to get my first. I just haven't decided yet, but I
think a rabbit hole.
I think I'm going to go with Amuro's from 78.
I just want something kind of simple to start with. So.
Well, you can get a standard grade. Those are pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $30 or something like that.
I saw one for like $12.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So there's all the grades. Maybe I'll have to talk about this in depth, even though it's not really my thing. I just know a little bit about it. But there's like the high grade, which is kind of like and of course the grades also correspond with the scale size. I think the high grade's probably about, maybe 10, 12 inches tall.
Right.
What we had, Kevin, our Avas were high grades.
Oh, right. Okay.
To put it in perspective.
Like, I have to be careful about bringing in a model, number one, because my cat likes to throw everything around, but also, I don't have a whole lot of room, so I'm staring at the top of my computer where there's a space that looks the right size for a Gundam.
Yeah,
right.
It's made for a Gundam.
Strong enough for a man, but made for a Gundam. Sorry.
But yeah, there's...
Now, Mike, how did you find the Batsu games? I just remember coming over to your apartment when you were living with Barry, and we watched a bunch of them.
I probably, someone mentioned it or something. I do remember, I've known about the, all right, so I looked it up. What is it? Downtown no Gaki no Tetsuki, no. Let me start again. Downtown no Gaki no Tsukai ya Arahende, which translates to,
bitches.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm just, did you find it on something awful?
Maybe. It could have been on something awful.
Definitely sounds like a mimetic thing from something awful that probably caught on for like a good month.
Yeah, so it is a Japanese variety show, and it's hosted by Downtown, which is a comedian duo, which is I'm trying to remember their names.
But you'll find
so Miyamoto and Hamada.
Yeah.
And I think I'd mentioned this before, but Japanese duos are very reminiscent of kind of vaudevillian.
It's very Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, there's you have a straight man and a idiot, basically.
Yeah, and there's always like some element of physical comedy where there's like some physical abuse, where the idiot says something and they'll like smack them, which is actually why Holy Grail went over Monty Python and the Holy Grail went over so well in Japan, because Bedivere would do something and like Arthur would smack him.
Yeah. So it's basically the straight man and the funny man. Like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
It's the Boke and the Damn, I'm really bad at Japanese pronunciations when I'm trying to do it live.
We got it.
No,
we got
it's
it,
fine.
Though.
It's very funny. It's very funny.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, they slap each other. And yeah.
Mike EXE has stopped working. Yeah. You all right?
Someone didn't install the Japanese character pack.
Oh yeah, no, those are pretty.
But there's 5 guys. There's 2 pairs of the comedy duos, and then there's a 5th guy who just kind of is a hanger-on, I guess. Not a hanger-on, but he's a comedian. They're all comedians in their own right, obviously. And it's one of their interesting things they do, I find, is they'll do a tasting thing where, like, one at a time, they'll like have a whole row of products, like all ketchups, like a whole like 20 different ketchups, and one of them will blindfolded, and they'll have them taste one brand, and they have to go to each one and say this is it or this isn't it.
And now this just sounds like Good Mythical Morning, which they probably got that from these Japanese shows.
Maybe.
So.
Probably. And since they just do that, and they have to, then there's a consequence. Usually they get, hit in the butt by someone. If, that's a very common
Japanese game.
And that's the best
punishment, is getting hit in the butt.
That's the best.
Like the Simpsons episode. We punish ignorance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or another one, one of the early ones that really hooked me on it is their no laughing library.
Yes.
Where they're all 4 or 5 or 6 of them around a desk or set of tables, and they flip over. They have like a little presentation thing at the end of the table, and they flip it over for the next thing, and it'll say something like, old man garlic breath. Oh. And they all have cards, and one card has a skull and crossbones, and they all, pick the cards face down, and they flip them over all at one time, and the one with the skull and crossbones has to, do whatever that said. And like, for example, the old man garlic breath, they'll put this like tank on their head with a hose, and an old man comes up and chewing on garlic, and he just blows into the thing while they're wearing it.
It's like a slightly less bad version of Jackass.
And they all have to be quiet because they're in, quote, a library, which obviously it's just a sound stage, but but then at the end of the year, I probably talked about this a little bit, they have their big, they haven't had it in the last couple of years because of COVID and stuff, but they'd have their big year-end No Laughing Hell, which would have a different theme every year. But for 24 hours, the 5 of them are put in these situations, and they cannot laugh. And if they do laugh, they get punished by being smacked on the butt.
Yeah, one of my favorites I saw was when they were at the what are the hot springs called again, Mike?
Onsen.
They were at an onsen, and they were served tea, and it was their producer in drag being like extremely meek, and they're all just like trying not to lose it. And of course then scores of ninjas come in and like bend them over and shoot a dart into their butts.
Yeah.
I need to watch some of this. This sounds fun.
Yeah.
They really are. They really are a lot of fun.
And did I mention also last time I talked about this, the pie hell? It was like a really early one. Mm-hmm. That one's hilarious. Like, it's kind of gone, like some of these have gotten really repetitive. I think, they're all old now, so they're not as physical as they used to be. Like, they're not getting blow darts in the butt anymore. It's all just kind of a rubber. I don't know what to describe what they get hit with. It's like a cross between like a foam tube or like maybe a unadorned, like, I don't know. It's just a long black rubber thing.
Mike, do you know what that is? That is literally a slapstick.
No, it's a tube. It's not. Well,
no. I'm pretty sure it's a modern day slapstick, because I mean that's where the term comes from, is getting hit with the old slapstick.
Well, okay. I mean, it's rubbery and tubular.
It's kind of like getting hit with a dildo.
Gonna say it looks like a unfeatured, very long dildo because it's black and kind of shiny and rubbery.
So, if you're not sold on it already after hearing that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Just go to Twitch and look up Father Jimmy.
I would, but the sound would bleed into the Zoom right now, and I don't want that.
And sometimes, like I said, it can be hit or miss. Some of them can be a little boring, but I think for the most part, they can be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the downtown guys. There's this other one that's like called Night. Was it Night something? It seems to be kind of a variety show where they have people write in with weird situations and then they go out and investigate. Like one of them I saw there was these guys living in an apartment and they found there's an access hole on their tub, and in the tub there were some photo album books, but this hole in the tub was too small for the albums to come out, so they couldn't see what they were, and it was kind of creeping them out. So they did it as this whole kind of like, ooh, creepy, what's in these books. And they eventually got them out and found they were just very normal, picture albums of a couple.
That is interesting.
That's almost as disappointing as Al Capone's vault.
Yeah. That was just, God.
That was, man, we were all riveted, and it was literally nothing.
I disliked Geraldo Rivera after that.
I didn't much care for him to begin with, but didn't help at all. That fucker. Come on, he is a dick.
Oh, no. I'm full there with you, but...
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike. Do you have anything planned over the next week that you want to dive into? Do you want to try to catch up on Zelda, or...?
I would like to. Don't know if I will, because like I said, I still got, Dragon Con stuff, not Dragon Ston Cuff. Dragon Con stuff to get ready.
Now is Dragon Con next week or the week after?
No, it's the week. It's 2 weeks and a couple of days, so we're leaving on the 30th.
Okay.
I am so ready to already be there.
Yeah. So we got this week and next week as full weeks.
So next week we're probably going to talk about Dragon Con some.
Okay. Okay.
Well, not next week, like the week after,
okay.
Because we got the, we'll record that Sunday the 27th, I'm assuming.
Right.
That's the Sunday before Dragon Con.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, cool.
Well, thank you, Mike. Yeah. All right.
No problem.
Kevin, between you and I think I should go first because I know what your topic is, and I think it's a nice way to kind of start closing things out. So
okay, Bert.
All right. So, I had mentioned last week I was going to talk about Diablo, and congratulations, I'm going to talk about Diablo.
Woo!
Yeah, so I've played a fair chunk of it now at this point, so I feel like I can give an assessment from the point of view of like let's say a Diablo stan, because
I've been seeing it pop up on Discord when you're playing it, and I'm like, I really hope he's having fun.
Yeah, I am overall. So I guess my first question is like, what is your experience with Diablo as like a franchise?
So here's the thing: I personally didn't play it.
Okay.
I didn't. I got into the idea of playing those sort of dungeon crawler games way late with Torchlight, and I kind of wish I'd gone back. I've played a little bit of Diablo 3, which I understand is not the best Diablo.
I have a controversial opinion about that, but we'll get into that.
Okay, but I wasn't that big into it, unfortunately.
Okay, well, how about you, Mike?
So... I never had a copy of Diablo 1, but I played it a lot with one of our friends. We would do like LAN parties. He had him working IT. He had like several computers in his bachelor pad.
I want
house.
you to understand that this is like real early in the internet, so that
this
was
is when Diablo 1
deal.
was out.
Yeah.
So and frequently would be up till the wee hours over there playing StarCraft, or sometimes
StarCraft I played.
StarCraft was if it was more people, but if it was like just me and him and maybe one other person, we'd play Diablo, because both of those games you could play with just one real copy.
Yeah.
You could install what they called spawn copies on other computers and LAN play.
Back when software development was cool.
Yeah, back when they gave a shit about their customers.
We just want people to have fun.
So that's the only way I played 1. 2, I had a copy, but I never really played it a whole lot.
Okay.
3, I had on the Switch and meant to play with the same friend some, but just never really got around to it. And obviously I haven't played 4 yet.
Okay.
And overall, I kind of like it, but it's definitely one of those games that I'm not going to play by myself. Like, if I'm playing with a friend, that'd be great, but I just not, in it for me to play and grind it out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, my Diablo experience kind of preface everything that I'm going to talk about. Like, I've played the franchise from the beginning. I didn't own a computer until I was like 11 or so. But, like, I had friends who had computers, and I would go over there and play Diablo and Diablo 2 a lot. When I finally got a computer of my own, played a ton of Diablo. Diablo 3 is probably the game that I have sunk the most hours into in my life. And I'm not even joking about that. And then, yeah, I'm currently playing Diablo 4. So, yeah, like, I also, like, I'm a big fan of, like, the lore. I know the storylines. I know the characters. I know a lot of the gameplay in and out. I still think the best Diablo game of all time was Marvel Heroes, because that was developed by a bunch of Diablo 2 devs. And it was fantastic. And then Disney pulled the license because the boss was creeping on employees, which made me sad.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but no, like, I love Diablo as a franchise, which also allows me to, like, be critical of it, but also I'm not like a lot of players where it's like it's the end of the fucking world if the game isn't perfect. Like, but they're I call out legitimate issues, like Diablo 3, the most played game of all time, but it had definite problems at launch. But
sure,
but by after they had knocked those problems out and after enough seasons of the game, like, for me, it became the best Diablo. So, like, as of right now, I would rank Diablo 3 my favorite, which is potentially controversial, but really, like, I'm seeing people come around to Diablo 3, especially because the new shiny Diablo 4 came out.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah, well, and then also, like, Diablo 4 is missing features that, like, Diablo 3 had that should have been in Diablo 4 and that sort of thing. So
that's always bad when your sequel is missing features that you've come to expect.
It's always sad when, like, the first season of your game has a less interesting season than, like, the 40th season of the previous game.
It's like, didn't you learn anything?
Yeah, it's Blizzard used to be, like, a real icon in video games, and they've not.
Oh yeah,
the Activision merger really gutted them. I don't know what behind the scenes happened, but they, like, Overwatch 2, I saw
is
recently.
A fantastic example of how not to do something.
Yeah, no, I loved Overwatch 1 when it came out. Played the hell out of it. Obviously, I was playing with people.
You're sitting in an Overwatch chair right now.
I'm sitting in a Diva chair. That's how much I liked Secret Labs $500 Diva chair. That's how much I liked Overwatch 1. And just see it, Blizzard's launcher doesn't have ratings, but Steam, it has an overwhelmingly negative rating because of how predatory and bad the game is.
Yeah, and that a lot of that is what's kind of going on with Diablo 4. So, like, my assessment of Diablo 4, like, I beat the campaign. I'm currently working on the grind to 100 on a seasonal character. I actually rolled a second character and I got her to, like, level 26 so far. So, like, it's definitely, there's some predatory elements to it for sure. I think the bones are good, but the game should not have been released as it is right now. I think there's a lot of issues with it, particularly with, like, the UI and itemization. Because the thing about, like, Diablo, you have to spend a lot of time grinding, like, locations and getting gear, and unfortunately, something like that should be made very, very easy and kind of like something you don't have to think about too much.
Right.
And they kind of ruined that here with Diablo 4. So my main issue is number one, the way the stats are distributed on gear. It's a mess to figure out what the hell is going to be an upgrade for you. Because they don't have core stats that show you a discernible upgrade path.
Jesus.
The inventory is an absolute mess. I'm sorry, my cat's attacking my Xbox.
I understand.
Yeah.
She do that.
So, but yeah, the inventory thing is also a pain in the ass because there's not a whole lot of inventory slots. It's so hard to go through and figure out what gear is a potential upgrade, and the UI is very slow in that regard.
Jeez.
But the thing is, though, I'm still having a ton of fun with it because, again, it's Diablo gameplay. I eat that shit up with a spoon.
Right.
My character's a necromancer because I'm a little dark goblin boy at heart.
Of course you are.
And I play a summoner necro. Not always the best damage dealing, but it's the most fun because I run around with 8 skeletons following me. And it took me a while.
I love that.
Yeah,
just the idea of you running around with an army of skeletons. Come on, guys, this is fun.
Yeah, no, it's great because my guy looks like a pale goth Jesus. It's rad. It's rad.
I wish you could make him. I wish you could make him look like a Dayglow kind of guy, with hot pink and really green and everything. But
you can't really do that as much, but you can do some really god awful color combinations.
Good.
But yeah, Necro has always been my favorite class in Diablo, which is why until they brought the monk in Diablo 3. But anyway,
I wish you had said monkey.
Right. So with the Necro, I wasn't really enjoying myself as much as I normally would have until I got the right piece of gear, and that's how gear dependent these games can be.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you have to grind this content to get the gear, but one piece of gear can change your approach to a character in the gameplay. And that's something the developers said, and it was I didn't believe it until I actually got to that, but it took too long to get to that point. So yeah.
I was going to say that, if it took you that long to, find the fun.
Well, I mean, I was still having fun, but it was
not as much fun as you wanted.
It wasn't it wasn't me playing Witch Doctor in Diablo 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the thing is, and again, that's one of the things I like about Diablo is when you get that really weird, interesting little gear, that one little item that changes everything. So one of the skills I play on my Necromancer is Corpse Explosion. Every time I kill something, it generates a corpse, and then I can either consume the corpse to heal my skeletons, or I can turn it into an explosive, whatever. So I got this piece of gear with a very simple little affix on it. Affix being the special abilities on some rare gear and everything like that.
Oh, like an enchantment kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And this gear, this affix, what it allows me to do is I passively detonate any corpses in range for 30 to 40% of the damage. So now as I'm running along, I have an army of skeletons and I have constant corpses exploding around me. And
corpses' heads exploding.
Yeah, no, I literally I feel like a greasy little undead monster, but it changed things because all of a sudden I was able to take out enemies a lot faster. It completely changed the gameplay style for me.
That's understandable.
And it's it took a little too long to get to that moment. And I think it's because the itemization needs an overhaul in the game.
Now, here's a quick question about it. Is it available for the PSP?
No, but Diablo Immortal is available on your smartphone.
Hell yeah. Wait. No. No.
No, that wasn't that the one that they...
What, you people don't have phones?
Yep.
That was it.
God, that was such a tone deaf.
Anything like that, there's an Elder Scrolls game for mobile, and you know what? It was free on the Switch, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks bad. So they can take their mobile Diablo and roll it up real tight.
And here's the thing, like, Diablo Immortal isn't that bad. Like, I've played some of it. Like, I can't stand it playing on my phone.
Right.
But I played some of it, and it was fine. It's fine.
Okay.
But it's not Diablo isn't a game you want to play on your phone.
Yeah, at least when it's been, like, however many years it was between, since 3 came out, you start eluding a new Diablo game.
Yeah.
And it's mobile.
And not specifying, what, and then all of a sudden your big reveal, and you hype it up, and your big reveal is, it's Diablo on mobile. Mm-hmm. Of course you're going to get shit on. I mean, that's something you do, that's something you release right after a big, mainline release.
You don't at least say, hey guys, we know this isn't what you wanted, but this is to help sate you until it does come out.
Yeah, you don't, like, be all cryptic about it. Oh, there's a Diablo announcement coming. There's a Diablo announcement coming, and it's a giant turd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In your face.
It's like going into a bathroom and there's a turd in the sink.
Yeah.
But so as far as, like, Diablo IV goes, I think the bones are good. I think that they have a lot that they can do. They're already, like, patching some stuff in and making things more fun. Yeah. And there's elements in this that I really enjoy. There's an event that happens every 2 hours and 15 minutes called a Helltide, where for an hour, an entire portion of the large map gets... it basically hell comes to Earth, and there's, like, fire and blood raining from the skies. Monsters are powered up and shit like that. It's fun.
Link, the blood moon.
God, man.
Sorry, it sounds like the fucking blood.
That is one mechanic I wish they had gotten rid of. I understand it's kind of because of the hardware it's necessary.
It's also the built-in story version of why the bases respawn.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's necessary because of the limited hardware, but I hate just how sequence breaking the blood moon is.
Yeah, no, I was not a fan.
I mean, that's my only gripe about Tears of the Kingdom is how that just, like, pulls you out of whatever you're doing.
It doesn't really bother me. I kind of like the blood moon just because it's like, again, I have kind of like a system figured out in the game, so I know when a blood moon hits, I'm going to do a couple of things, and then I get back to whatever I'm doing.
So, yeah, there's things that, restock and all, but several times I've been in the middle of a dungeon, like, just getting past some, some big, like, mini boss kind of thing.
Like a centaur or something?
Well, one of those big Cyclops guys, I forget what they're called.
Hinox. Yep.
Yeah. And then the blood moon happens.
And there he is
again.
I kind of like it. I think it's fun. Like, I love the chaos that happens.
I just pictured you going around going, hee, busy, busy, busy. I am so busy. And you've got, like, your weird little enjoyment of the pain it brings you, David.
I just wish there was, like, a bubble around you, like a, whatever you can see.
This place.
Yeah, that wouldn't respawn stuff. Because it's just kind of like, all of a sudden, hey, there's big ass guys again. They're just, here.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I've been curious about Diablo 4. I might try to see about getting either Diablo 2 Resurrected or Diablo 3 back on my Switch or something. Because I own it, but I got to get a memory card.
I'll play Diablo 3 with you. There's a lot in Diablo 3 I love. Monk was my favorite class in Diablo 3, followed by the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor was great because he was like a necro, but he could also summon spiders. So then I'm just this dude running around tossing jars of spiders at things.
It's funny. I didn't remember this until you said it. I remember one of our friends would talk about Diablo 2 and start going, Necro! I am, Necro! I am. Which, Hammer, MC Hammer, you would start doing that, and that just popped back in my head when you said that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't know, because you tend to be kind of I'm going to use the word fussy regarding games.
Pissy is also a good word.
I'm trying to be diplomatic here.
I'm not. I'm me. I know me.
I don't think Diablo 4 is in a state to where you would really enjoy it right now.
Sure. I do want to check out Baldur's Gate.
It's very grind dependent right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put in the time, and they do have some fun little shortcuts in there. Because I'm playing seasonal. Like, I started the game late because it came out like June, and I started it in August. So as far as like catching up with stuff, I already hit level 50. I'm already building my Paragon stuff, and what they do is for this season they have a thing called the Tree of Whispers, which creates little bounties around the map, and you just you get like 10 points in bounty stuff, and then you get a cache of loot. And they've made it a lot easier at this point to get like good pieces of gear. So I'm seeing some motion there, but it just, again, like the way that the itemization currently works, you'll get like 5 to 10 unique pieces of gear, and none of them are technically an upgrade.
Okay.
And that's the biggest problem I have with the game right now. That's the worst part of it, I think. And I know I'm bitching a lot about a video game that I supposedly enjoy.
Look, if you can tear something apart and still love it, then you'll love it.
But and that's the thing. I'm having fun. Like I rolled my rogue right now. I'm running around like throwing knives and like shooting a bow and arrow. Like, do you remember that photoshopped panel of Moon Knight throwing a bunch of knives? And
random bullshit, go!
Yeah, that's literally the gameplay style of the rogue for me right now.
Nice.
So I'm just darting around the map, just like throwing sharp things at things. But I'm having fun, and like I'm finding a gameplay loop that works for me.
Right.
But I'm just seeing so many problems with a game that should have been a home run. And then it's even worse because they released a development video that I watched. And it's two of the dungeon developers talking about like developing dungeons, but they're playing at the same time. And they don't seem to know how to play their own game. I know
God.
And here's the thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, like they're dungeon developers. They don't have to know the ins and outs of routines and stuff like that, or rotations on characters. But also, like if you're spamming basic skills and dying like several times in a dungeon, that's not a good look for the supposed care of quality in the game.
I was gonna say, so you said they're dungeon developers, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that they would know how certain character classes would flow through a dungeon. Then
I think they're mostly art people. I think they were art people.
Okay, so if they're art people, yeah, I could guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but I think it was, if they're just art people, then it was really dumb of them to put that out, because that just made them look bad.
Yeah, no, that video, and it looks really bad for the company. Like not as bad as the Bill Cosby suite, but
no.
But like still, it's just like you're already having enough problems with the game to then do that, to release that video at this time.
I really want to tell you how proud I am of not doing a Bill Cosby impression. Like, I am sitting here just biting my tongue.
It's the Diablo pudding pop.
You put the Diablo. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there.
But here's the thing. Like, I got to level 50. I'm at a spot now where I can just because I was grinding the game pretty hardcore to get to that level 50 mark. To open up like the actual game, because the campaign and everything like that, the game doesn't really start till you hit level 50 and like the real grind of gear and everything begins. Again, I'm making this sound terrible, but it works for me.
I love this shitty, horrible game. Yeah,
but no, it's I got to that point, so now I'm able to step back and I'm going into my Game Pass, and I've got like 10 games installed. I played a little bit of the first the 2016 Doom. last night. I just installed Dead by Daylight. I'm really excited about getting into that. So I even played Skyrim this morning.
Like I love Skyrim.
Yeah, yeah.
We've talked about that. I am autistic for Skyrim.
Yeah, I've been playing. I'm also noticing that I'm playing some games that are older that like I haven't played in a while, and I'm realizing, man, these games are a lot harder than when I was younger.
Yeah, no, age dulls the senses and the abilities.
Your reaction time.
I went to that Barrow Den or whatever, the Thieves' Den up in the mountains.
Yeah.
And like the spiders kicked my ass twice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's how that's going.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
that's fun.
Yeah, I just it's fun to kind of go out. Like I got stuck on Doom actually, trying to get through the first fucking door because I didn't realize that there was a body propped under the door, and I had to look and like pull the body out. I just assumed like I could punch the door open.
The new game's really aggravating.
It's too many fucking button inputs, I think.
There's too much going on, and I probably would have loved it when I was younger, but like right now, I am way too old to be playing a game like that.
I also had that kind of like moment when I started playing Grand Theft Auto 5, because this is my first time playing Grand Theft Auto 5 because I hadn't had a system that'll play it, and I got it through Game Pass, and I was on that like first robbery thing, and there's a part where a guy holds a character at gunpoint, and you have to shoot him, and the instructions were telling me to do one thing, and it was telling me to go into camera mode and not like shoot the guy, so I got stuck in this loop of like, well, why do you want me to go into camera mode?
I do kind of remember like the kind of semi-tutorial section. Is that where it was?
Yeah, the bank heist where you go in.
Yeah, I do remember that being confused at some part of that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was stuck on that for like maybe like a couple of minutes, and at one point like I died because it took too long. But I'm like, why do you keep sending me into camera mode? It's like I don't need to know about the camera mode. I need to know like. Again, like I hadn't played a Grand Theft Auto game in ages, so a lot of it's me just trying to familiarize myself with the controls. It's like, why'd you put me in a fucking bank heist without giving me a chance to kind of like let me walk around a neighborhood and like lead me through a thing to learn the controls or something?
Let me just steal a car and ramp it.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused a bit in that part too.
Well, like,
so it's not unheard of for that to be a little obtuse.
Here's my problem with the newer Doom games is glory kills. Just gimme ammo pickups, all right? I don't care about badass glory kills. I just want to shoot shit and pretend it's customers, okay?
Well, you don't have to do that, though.
Yeah, you do, because that's the only way to get life and ammo and crap.
I understand where you're coming from, but the fact that I was able to knee a demon's rib cage up through its jaw tells me like, no, this is cool. Let's keep the glory kills.
I keep forgetting to do glory kills, so I run out of ammo and then just start dying because there's no ammo and all I can do is run around and kick. I look like a rocket trying to kill demons.
I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I just don't remember doing those and not having that big of a problem.
Oh, it is like I had it on Game Pass for a little bit, and I just got so fucking aggravated because I couldn't get past the first stage because I kept running out of ammo and I kept forgetting to do glory kills.
The other
glory holes.
No, I get what you're saying with that because once you figure it out, though, it doesn't feel like intrusive. It just kind of I think it's the reason why that works, and unlike the door. Like having to use the press in the control stick to open the door, which makes no fucking sense to me.
Oh, yeah, no, that sucks.
But using the control stick to do the glory kills, because that's part of your aiming reticule, that makes sense, and that doesn't disturb the gameplay flow to me.
I guess it's because I'm old. I still am not used to pressing the stick. And also, I'm playing on a keyboard.
I remember the first time I played with the DualShock controller, and it's like, oh my god. No, I was the DualShock 2 that had the clickable sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not a lot of games used those.
Yeah.
No, I've played lots of games that used it, so I'm used to that. Like the R3 and L3.
Yeah, I'm not big on those at all.
I mean, it does kind of suck when you're trying to do it in something where you're also trying to move the stick at the same time. Because, or if it's something that's obtrusive and like you're jamming on the stick and accidentally are pushing it in, like it's say jump or something like that.
And
you're like trying to waggle or crouch.
Yeah, that happens to me in Tears of the Kingdom all the time.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you're like moving around very like spiritedly, and you're accidentally pushing it in, so you're crouching and like why am I moving so slow?
It just looks like it just looks like you're like constantly squatting to try to work the poop out.
You're teabagging, trying to teabag
there you
goblins.
Go. I don't know. My thing right now is like I'm trying a bunch of games, and my brain is getting very confused learning all these different control methods.
Oh yeah, yep.
That is the kind of old gamer brain where too many control schemes are competing for residency.
I feel like if you're making a modern game, you should make it where you can run it on an NES controller.
We'll call it Kevin mode.
Yeah, shut up.
Or just have like just they should standardize on like control layouts, so you can be like, you could choose to either use your proprietary, what you think is the best, or just use the old gamer version where all the jump is this button on all of them. Crouch is this button on all of them.
And then like you have like a Bethesda mode where the controls are pretty good, but then like everything else in the game breaks.
Oh god, the Xbox buttons infuriate me sometimes. Like number one, the way that they label the ABYX, like I hate that. I come from like Nintendo games, right? A is always on the right side.
Yeah,
it's B and then A. Yes,
the way that the icons for L1, L1, L2, R1, R2.
Oh, those are fucked.
Yeah, those button like icons are just terrible, especially the one for like the left and right trigger buttons.
Yeah.
It just, it gets so confusing. Like, otherwise, like, the controls are fine, but when I first started Diablo, I kept having issues with, like, pressing the wrong button because I was so used to, like, the Nintendo Switch layout.
Right.
Yeah. Like, looking at an Xbox controller, you got LB and RB and LT and RT, but, of course, on a PlayStation, you have L1, R1 and L2, R2, but then on the Switch you have, what is this? It's like L and R and ZL and ZR. Yeah, so all three of them have different, which you want to get on a little tangent here. Looking at these controllers and looking around my desk, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Within arm's reach, I have like 7 controllers of various stripes around me. I'm a controller whore. Like, I just bought this week, because it was on sale, I bought a PS4 controller. I don't have a PS4, but I bought a PS5. I don't have a PS5, but I bought a PS5 controller. I can't even keep them straight in my fucking head.
Yep.
I have a PS4 controller over here by my TV, which I can hold. So right now I'm holding a PS4 and a PS5 controller. I have a PS4. I don't have a PS5, but I bought the fucking controller to use with my computer because I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, you know what? I think it's about time for a break, guys.
Yeah.
But you don't want me to rant about how for my computer I have both used a Xbox Elite 2 controller, a Steam controller, a PS5 controller, and a Nintendo Switch controller. You don't want me to keep going about that?
I've never had an issue with mouse and keyboard. All consoles should use mouse and keyboard.
I use that most of the time.
So there are plenty of games where controllers are better. Like anything driving, I'm using a controller.
Yeah.
Like you said, Grand Theft Auto 5. You want to know how much time I've put in Grand Theft Auto 5? In Grand Theft Auto 5 online. So, sorry to stretch this out, Kevin.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But
you should be apologizing to me. I'm the host.
I played all of the story mode of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS3, but then when it came out on the PC, I bought it and pretty much exclusively played online. And I have 695.3 hours in that, looking at the Steam stats, just in online.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well,
that's probably my most played game.
Well, you probably got about 5 minutes to play it because we're going on a break for just a little bit. And we'll be
I'm
back
not playing
soon.
it now.
No. All right, we'll be back in a moment, folks.
Hey, David, you know what makes our show great?
What's that, Kevin?
No ads. You know what would make it better?
What's that, Kevin?
Ads.
What if, and I'm just spitballing here, we do ads for independent creators at reasonable rates?
How reasonable?
Overly. How about $2 per episode pre-roll?
That is almost too reasonable.
Might as well go for it. Let's send everyone to the contact page for Supernatural Selection.
SupernaturalSelectionPod.com/contact?
Exactly. Just have them scroll down to the Advertise With Us section for more information.
That sounds great. Now let's record the ad.
Kevin?
Yes, David?
We just did.
Whoa.
Welcome back to the Bone Zone, the Diablo IV Necromancer podcast. I'm your host, Bone Daddy David.
Goddamn, son.
Oh, right off the top of my head. Okay, there we go.
Well, I'm Skullman Jack, and we're going to be listening to the best bone music you can find. We're starting with the Grateful Dead.
You know, it was funny. I think you mentioned to me the other day you were watching something about like how they shot that Weird Al movie pool scene.
Yes.
And it just showed up on my YouTube feed, so Google's obviously listening.
Oh, but, yeah, no, obviously.
And I'm impressed how well Jorma Tacone did as Pee-wee.
Yes.
Because I've been watching a lot of Pee-wee clips lately, too. Because, obviously, R.I.P. Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah. Yep.
But, yeah. But, you know, speaking of delightful childlike characters, Kevin, can you tell us what you've been distracted with?
It's the Muppet Show with our very special guest star, no one. No, I've actually been watching a documentary. Back in 2017, Frank Oz put out a documentary. Frank Oz, film director and Muppeteer, put out a documentary called Muppet Guys Talking. Mm-hmm. And it was available digitally for, I think it was like $10 or $20, or you could get a DVD for $100.
Jesus.
And it was only available from him. And it has gone out of print. But, like most things, it is also now available on the Internet Archive. So I got a chance to watch it finally. So it is Frank Oz, who played Fozzie, Piggy, Grover, Cookie Monster, just insane numbers of characters.
You don't need to quote the scriptures. I was there when they were written, so.
God damn it. Dave Goelz, who was Gonzo.
My favorite Muppet.
Yes, and Boober on Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Fran Brill, who played Prairie Dawn on Sesame Street, you know, the little girl Muppet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which... there was a lot more character development with that character than I thought. You know, she started out as your typical little girl, and then she just became, like, girl boss.
Well, but, like, how often do you find yourself watching Sesame Street?
Nowadays?
Right.
Not often.
Well, in Prairie Dawn, how long was Prairie Dawn in the Muppet, or in Sesame Street?
Oh, God, up until, like, the 80s. So, like, 20-something years.
Yeah, I think now, like, the main girl Muppet on Sesame Street is Abby Cadabby.
It's another monster, yes.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But it was... They also had the late Jerry Nelson,
mm-hmm.
who... that was Gobo Fraggle, the announcer that did Pigs in Space! Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, Snuffleupagus,
mm-hmm.
tons of characters, obviously. And Bill Beretta, who I was not familiar with until I learned that he played Pepe the King Prawn, okay? And he also plays, the bear that's been in a lot of the more recent Muppet stuff.
Yeah, like the one that's, I don't want to say he's photorealistic, but he's more realistic than most Muppets.
Yes, but the big dumb bear, him. Yeah. That's him.
But who's great, by the way.
Yeah, no, a lot of his characters are fantastic. Mm-hmm. And
I love Pepe. Pepe is one of my favorites, man. I love Pepe.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? But it talked about, they were talking about, the development of the characters, which is great because Bill Beretta talked about the origin of Pepe was his mother-in-law, who is Spanish, and she ends every sentence with okay. So it's like the punctuation mark is like, oh, how are you? Do you need some more food? Okay. And I was like, that's fucking great. And Jerry Nelson talked about the origin of his characters. And Frank said that Piggy developed, it was him and I can't remember the guy's name, the guy that played Scooter would alternate Piggy in the first season. And he was playing her, and this won him the role and defined the character. There was a scene where she was talking to Kermit, and she was supposed to slap him, and for some reason, Frank yells, "Hi-ya," and does a karate chop. And that was it. That was Piggy. That was the birth of the character. He said she wants to be a fashion model, but inside she is a truck driver.
Kung fu truck driver.
Yes, she is not a good singer. She is not beautiful. She is also unwilling to give up.
No, I think Miss Piggy is pretty. I think that as a pig Muppet, she is very pretty.
It does remind me of the horrifying thing where they were doing shoots for the Muppet calendar, and they had they had the puppet doing some fashion model stuff, and Frank Oz sitting there going, "Holy shit, that's hot." And I'm like, I would have looked at him and just backed away slowly.
That's the kind of shit that what's his name? Oh fuck. Oh god. Well, the infamous movie Apocalypse Now guy.
Fuck.
Francis Ford
Marlon
Brando. Yeah, I bet you wish I was a Muppet so you could stick your hand up my ass and make me do what you want. That was an actual thing he said to Frank Oz when they were filming a movie. Robert De Niro had to come in and direct him with Frank Oz in an earpiece.
Yeah, because, what movie was that?
I don't remember. It was like one of Brando's last movies. It was like Brando and Robert De Niro and Frank Oz directing, and Frank Oz was like, I would fire him if the studio would let me.
Yeah, Brando just would not take direction from Frank Oz.
Hey, you gonna make me tell me what to do there, Puppet Man? Fuck you, Puppet Man.
So, just the stories they told were amazing. So many things about Jim Henson. And I was not aware of how much danger they were in on a regular basis.
Well, yeah, Miss Piggy karate chopping the shit out of everybody.
Oh, no. Mike, I should tell him about the campfire scene.
It's The Score was the name of the movie.
The Score, yes. Okay.
2001.
Yeah.
Directed by Frank Oz, starring Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando.
You gonna tell me what to do, Puppet Man? But you wish I was one of your puppets.
Sorry, I'll never get over doing that impression.
I just could not continue until I knew the name of that.
Okay, that's fair. So here's my favorite story. It's not the makeshift elevator thing they built that if it collapsed it would kill all of them.
That was for the
Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, they climbing up like a drain pipe or part of a wall or something.
And Jim just built this lay down elevator so they could all lay down and operate the puppets
as they went
climbing.
Up the wall.
And if, the top one fell, it would have crushed all of them and turned them into a meat sandwich.
Yeah, it was this wild elevator with stacked bodies on little, cubby holes.
It's like little coffins on a conveyor going up.
It's like a Japanese coffin hotel, but,
deadly.
Full of puppeteers.
And the stink of death and fear. No,
but no, the next one was buck wild. Like I was walking back and forth through the den when he was watching it, and I just stopped and watched.
Because this is insane. Okay, so they're doing this. You remember the Muppets and John Denver were like intimately linked in the 70s and 80s.
They were inseparable. There was like
he was on the Muppet Show. There were albums. There were specials.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy. So they're doing this Muppet John Denver special where they're out in the woods because John Denver and the Muppets are all sitting around a campfire.
The Muppets and John Denver.
And John Denver. Yes. So to do this, you got to have the Muppets and you can't see the puppeteers. So Jim dug a big old pit that's about 4 feet deep, and they put plywood over it.
They spent a lot of time in pits.
Yeah. And then put sod and leaves and stuff on it.
And dressed it so it looked like, a forest floor.
Yeah. So they're all sitting under there with their arms up, for 4 hours, and they've all got like a Gatorade bottle to piss in.
Which one of them was a lady, so that made it a little
real.
So they gave her a funnel,
I guess. But the other thing is, it had to be around a campfire, and for the pit, well, the campfire, they up on a stand, they put a propane tank,
and so they're all sitting around the campfire, so they're all kind of in this circle
in the pit.
In the pit with one arm up, which I imagine they would have to take breaks to like get the blood flow back into that arm.
They said they would do that for hours on end, Mike. It's crazy.
Look, when I work on a vehicle, and I'm laying under it, and my arms are up for after 10 minutes, I have to just lay there with my hands on my chest letting the blood recirculate going, God, my arms.
Well, Muppeteers are made of sterner stuff.
Apparently.
Yes, apparently. So they're all sitting around, and in the center of the pit for the fire, they have a fucking propane tank up on a box right in front of their faces.
You can't build just a normal fire, so obviously it's going to be gas. Yeah. But it's in the wilderness. It's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, so it's a fucking propane tank in the pit with the Muppeteers.
Yeah, in their faces. And an open flame over it on plywood.
So this is
they're sitting there with a bomb in front of them.
Look, OSHA would pass out and die and just spin over in their graves if they had been anywhere near this set.
Seriously, there was a sincere danger that propane tank could just explode and kill all of them and John Denver.
I'm surprised they were able to get any insurance underwriting at all on that. But luckily, Kevin, you remember what happened next? The next part of that story?
Oh, yeah. Didn't it fucking
it was so
blizzard?
Fucking cold that they didn't actually get to film in the hell pit. So they moved it to a nearby hangar and built a stage there. But because it was fucking snowing and negative degrees out,
so they couldn't do it.
Wherever
I don't see why not.
Wyoming or wherever they were.
I don't see why not. They had a propane tank right there in front of them.
They had a fire to keep them warm. I mean, how ungrateful were they?
Them fuckers. But I mean, that story alone was crazy. And then there's a story Dave Gollins talked about where they're doing Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, which is a fucking classic. And he's playing a fish in a tank. So what they did is they had this big plastic tank with a hole in the back with a scuba glove.
It's kind of like one of those, chemical gloves where it's sealed to the box.
Yeah,
but it has a puppet on the end. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he's got his hand in this tube, in this hole in the glove in a puppet. And sitting there, doing his thing.
But because it's on stage, it's elevated.
He's sitting on a chair on the tines of a fucking forklift. And he's sitting there and realizes, man, you know what? If the hydraulics on this thing give out and it drops, I'm going to go down and my arm's just going to stay in the tank.
Or he also realized that if the driver happens to lean on a lever and it goes up, he also loses his arm.
Jesus
Either way,
Christ.
Everything Jim Henson did is fraught with the specter of death.
Or maiming. I had no idea Muppeteering was such a hazard-fraught endeavor.
Oh, yes.
I have to wonder if nowadays it's any safer.
I can only imagine it has to be, because I use a lot more blue screen.
Ah, yes.
In like the more modern stuff.
The 70s and 80s Muppets were buck wild.
Yeah. Like they talked about Kermit sitting on the log in the Muppet movie, playing the banjo, singing the Rainbow Connection. So Jim is in a metal, basically a big metal oil drum in the water with an air hose. Mm-hmm. With it, and a hole cut for his hand with, again, a scuba glove with his arm going up, and he's got an air hose, some wires going down for the monitor so he can see what he's doing, and he's got his earpiece in wired up so he can hear what's going on.
So wait,
and he's directing.
So he's in a makeshift bathysphere
made out of an oil drum.
Out of an oil drum in a fucking water tank.
Yes.
Holy shit, this guy was insane.
Well, the thing is, and that's what they said, the only reason they did this crazy shit is because Jim was the first person that would line up to do it. Jim would not get people to do something unless he was going to do it himself as well.
It also reminds me of some of the horror stories of shooting the Yoda scenes in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, with all the live snakes and water and everything like that.
Yeah, no, all that shit. Anything involving a Muppeteer, there's a chance someone will die. So
I think that was just Frank Oz continuing the Dangertainment legacy.
Well, and Jim was alive at that point, but still.
Yeah.
I think Frank Oz realized he couldn't perform unless he was in mortal danger. There's some people that are into that kind of thing, and we don't kink shame. So. I adore the Muppets. I always have. I've loved Jim Henson, but goddamn, this is another level.
This is like a whole other fucking level I didn't know existed.
That is I really need to watch that. You said it's on archive.org?
It is. I think I sent you a link.
Okay, yeah, I need to sit down and watch that because I love. Do you remember that multi-part Jim Henson series Defunct Land did?
I didn't get to watch it. I'm going to go back and watch it this week.
It's legitimately very, very good.
I've heard Defunct Land does amazing work.
Yeah, I think Kevin Perger of Defunct Land deserves a contract with someone to do documentaries full time.
Oh God, yeah. Get him on Max or something.
But his Henson documentary made me cry a couple times. It's that good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I think I did see the one about Muppet babies though.
I'm trying to remember if I saw that one. Did he do one on Muppet Baby? Oh, yeah, he did. It was towards the end. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think it's 6 or 7 episodes.
Okay, yeah, there's a playlist, so.
But, while we're on this topic of Muppets, who are your favorite Muppets?
Well, first off, I want to say that if you go back and read Coda's World, you will realize I was completely paying homage to the Muppet Show. But my favorite Muppets, probably Kermit, Gonzo, and the Swedish Chef.
I love them all, but
definitely. But
the one I always strongly identified with was Gonzo. And I still think that the greatest comedy pairing of all time is Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat.
Yes, no, that is and I feel bad since they had to get rid of Whitmer. What's his name? The guy that played Rizzo?
Yeah, I still think that they can bring back the Rizzo Gonzo pairing, although they did start pairing Gonzo with Pepe, which worked pretty well.
Which is also good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, Gonzo and a smaller thing that's... that's
someone to temper
intelligent.
Gonzo's weirdness.
Yes.
How about you, Mike?
I was never really a Muppet person. as anathemic as it is to both
I
of you.
feel like that's less to do with you actively disliking them and just more of not being exposed.
How do we define a Muppet person in this case?
Someone who goes out of their way to watch anything Muppet related.
You did go see The Muppets when it came out.
Well, but that was because a bunch of people were going.
Okay, sure. I was just making sure you had seen that one.
I am nothing if I don't sublimate into a group, into the group. Will. But I don't know, like Muppets, Fraggle Rock,
and now Fraggle
Sesame
Rock
Street,
I adore. Okay,
it just was never really my bag.
But you've seen at least a few like Muppet projects, and you don't hate them, right?
I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't love them. They're kind of in this kind of meh area for me.
That's fair, but
I mean that's fair. You don't have a soul, but
favorite.
That's all right. Not everybody does.
Hey, I wasn't going there.
I will say that my favorite Muppet. I do have a favorite though.
Okay.
I wonder if Kevin can guess it.
Animal?
No. God, no.
Really?
Swedish Chef.
Oh, yeah, no. See, that's one of my top 3 because...
just because of how goofy is.
Well, my favorite thing... Bork, 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 bork. My favorite thing about the Swedish Chef, and this is a story I've heard from like everyone that was involved in the Muppet Show, is whatever was going on in the studio and they were about to shoot the Swedish Chef, everybody stopped what they were doing and would come down to watch because, again, it was Jim Henson operating the head and Frank Oz doing the hands, and it was human hands.
Yeah.
And
I use this phrase a lot, but I imagine it was just buck wild watching.
Yes.
How crazy what made it in the Swedish. I could just only imagine what the Swedish Chef outtakes were like.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason I love it and the reason everybody stopped is because Jim and Frank did not coordinate what was going to happen between them beforehand. So the hands were just doing shit while Jim was reacting to what the hands did.
Put the cheeky in the biscuit.
Yeah, no, it was fucking great. And, like, that was one of the few things where they didn't have to dub in, like, canned laughter. Because they just had the onset laughter.
One Swedish Chef moment that, like, lives rent-free in my head from that Muppets sitcom that they did. It was kind of like The Office, which I really
didn't
enjoyed.
Really watch it.
I enjoyed that one. But
I kind of look at it as new Muppet, so... But go ahead.
But yeah, they had a moment where in the show, Miss Piggy was like dating Josh Groban. And I recall at one point the Swedish Chef going, "Der Piggy Groban de Gruben."
Oh my god!
Okay, I remember that, and it sticks in my head because you're the piggy de Gruben.
Here's the thing about the Swedish Chef and Steve Whitmire's portrayal versus Jim Henson's, and I saw an interview with Steve Whitmire, and I read one where he was talking about, Jim picked him to start to eventually take over as Kermit, so he worked closely with him. He got to see Jim perform Kermit, and he saw how he did it, and the same with like Ernie and these other characters. So he's like, okay, I see what Jim did to get into character for that. He was like, I can't understand the Swedish Chef. I'm like, yes, because the Swedish Chef is just fucking stupid and silly. Yeah. There's no character. It is literally just which if you listen to Fellowship of the Ring when Saruman is up on Orthanc summoning the storm and he's speaking in, I'm guessing it's Cinderella or whatever, and it's Christopher Lee's deep ass voice. I swear to God, it just sounds like the Swedish Chef awakening a mountain. Waking the mountain, heard the first again, the murder, bork, bork. And then Gandalf had to go under it. So,
the Borks.
Tell you what, Muppets Lord of the Rings would be incredible.
Oh my God! Did I ever tell you?
Well, okay,
God, go ahead. Well, Fozzie is Gandalf.
Okay. Yeah, here's the thing: with a Muppets project, you have to have one human actor to be in there with the Muppets. So who is the human actor
Aragorn.
you're keeping?
That's Aragorn.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen and Muppets.
So wait, who's Bilbo then? Is it or no, not Bilbo, Frodo?
That's Kermit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I
want this now because they used to do this kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, you know who Smeagol is? That's Animal. Animal is as Gollum.
What's Tatar's precious? Oh my God.
Baggins! Sire! Baggins!
But who's Saruman?
The Swedish Chef.
Uncle Deadly.
Oh, ooh.
So does that mean...
I like that too, but I just want that scene of the Swedish Chef upon Orthanc waking up in Madras.
So does that mean Miss Piggy is Samwise, or does that mean make Miss Piggy
Arwen? Oh, I want a karate chop in Arwen.
No, Miss Piggy and Viggo Mortensen, like they would that would be fantastic.
Yes.
Then who's Samwise?
Oh man,
Scooter.
I think honestly, Fozzie would make a good Samwise.
Okay, well then who's Gandalf?
Gonzo.
Ooh,
Gonzo the Grey.
Oh my God! Just for the when in doubt, follow your nose.
Who's Gimli and Legolas?
Okay, Legolas is Janice from the Electric Mayhem.
Oh gee, they're taking the hubs to Isengard.
So then you do
what about a friend?
And then you do for Gimli,
Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd Pepper is Gimli.
Holy shit!
And you know what?
A
cameo by Bjorn, and it is that bear played by Bill Beretta.
Oh my God.
This has to happen someday.
This would be hilarious.
That would be grand. Like I said, just Viggo Mortensen's the only human.
And here's the thing: like you would have a couple live action actors, and one of them would absolutely be Christopher Lee. Because Christopher. Well, I mean, okay, obviously he's dead now. But if they did a contemporaneous Muppet Lord of the Rings, that Christopher Lee would have acted the hell opposite of the Muppets.
Oh God, it would have been like David Warner,
or Michael Caine.
I'm taking, that's what I mean, Michael. Michael Caine. I'm taking this seriously. I don't care what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm taking this seriously,
and that's why Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas movie ever made.
Look, man, it's good, but that Patrick Stewart A Christmas Carol, man.
No, it's good.
Scrooged.
I don't know. We'll get into this closer to Christmas time.
We'll do a Christmas distraction hole.
Long story short, I think we're going to have to do a Muppet special where we just brainstorm Muppet movies.
But yeah, I just love the idea of Janice as Legolas for some reason. Now, I did get to thinking we'd have to have Robin in there in a role, so I'm thinking either Mary or Pippin.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and with Pepe as Pippin.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I grabbed the Palantir, okay? Oh my God.
Holy fuck.
Oh, this is brilliant. I'm happy with this.
What was the point you were making earlier? I'm so sorry.
Just the fact that everybody loved the Swedish Chef sketches because they're insane.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what was happening. And
man.
Also, I'm just happy that Jim Henson's from Mississippi and we kind of have similar... when I drop the affectation I've developed over the last 40 years, my voice is actually pretty close to Jim Henson. So it sounds sort of like this when I let it go.
Yeah, I noticed you could do a pretty good Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, and I've told you about... I called over to Rose's one day while I was working at the shoe store to talk to a former friend that worked there. And he warned them that, hey, I'm going to have a phone call, and it's going to sound like Kermit the Frog. And just put Kermit through to me. So I didn't know this. And I call over there, and I hear, Rose's Terry Road, can I help you? I just, hi there, can I talk to Greg? And I just hear laughter. And then I'm put on hold. So... yeah, it's a double-edged blade sometimes.
So Kermit, to continue Muppeting, Kermit figures heavily into like one of my best VR experiences ever.
So, is this in VR chat?
This was in VR chat, and I'm in there and just kind of like bouncing around, looking for something interesting, and I end up in one of these rooms where it was like kind of like a stand-up comedy room. Like there was a stage and like
there was an open mic night at any rate.
Well, but everybody was goofing around. But there was someone with a Kermit avatar sitting at one of the tables, and he was, with the voice, and he was singing and playing the guitar.
Oh.
And he was just, it wasn't the Rainbow Connection. He's like just playing just random songs.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
Not that, but, songs like that,
Yeah, no, like real songs.
And a bunch of us just like gathered around him and listened to him play for like half an hour to 45 minutes.
I love that you brought that up, because I've always thought that like Kermit is kind of a magical thing.
Well,
like, because people will like just look at him, not even really notice that he's like a puppet. Like, obviously they know he's a puppet, but like if I were to see Kermit in real life, like
you would ignore the puppeteer.
Yeah, if they're shooting something at Disneyland, for example, and Kermit's there, I would literally go up and say, "Hi, Kermit, I love you very much." That's
what you need, Kevin. Kevin, you need a blackout outfit and Kermit the Frog puppet.
No, what I need is to grow the hair out again and go as Jim Henson next year to Dragon Con.
I mean, go as Kermit.
And bring a Kermit. But because here's the thing. There was a dude dressed like that at Dragon Con last year, but he was not a puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
You should do that, because you can do the fucking voice, dude.
I know, but here's the other thing. One of the things they talked about in this special that was the impetus for this whole discussion, Muppet Guys Talking, they talked about how when you're doing the puppet, people completely ignore you and talk to the puppet. And they showed, like, Frank with Cookie Monster on the Jack Parr show, or no, Merv Griffith. Or is it Merv Griffin? I don't remember. He is on that show, and he is like, when I talk, you look at me. You don't look at man back there. And people were laughing, but they were all still talking to Cookie Monster. And last year at Dragon Con, I experienced this. I had my jumpsuit on, my Joel jumpsuit, and I had Tom Servo. And it's a puppet. It's a working puppet. And I just walked around with the puppet. And I kept having to lean in because everybody just talked to the puppet. And I couldn't hear them over the noise because they're directing all questions at the puppet. And the guy operating the puppet can't hear it. And I was like, this is great because I am invisible. And I can do anything.
Yeah, like, man, like, I want to see Kermit the Frog in real life, because it's just like meeting a person, man. Like, there's just something about Kermit that's just magical.
Kermit has his own star outside of Jim Henson on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Or like when he showed up on The Masked Singer. It's the most ridiculous thing that Kermit the Frog was the celebrity inside of one of the costumes.
You got to be shitting me.
Of The Masked Singer. Oh, yeah, no, it's on YouTube.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog on The Masked Singer. Look it up.
I'm not doing it now. I'm actually looking up how much a Kermit the Frog puppet is.
Oh, man. Man, Muppets are fun.
They really are. I adore Muppets. I always have.
I really liked that Muppets Haunted Mansion that they did, like, last year.
I didn't see it.
It felt like a pretty fun throwback, because it was Gonzo inherits the Haunted Mansion, like the Disney Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah?
So, number one, it's combining two things I love. Gonzo the Great and the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Right.
So right there, they've got me hooked.
I really did enjoy the Haunted Mansion.
I haven't seen the new Haunted Mansion movie yet. I want to.
Oh, no, I mean the ride.
Oh, okay. But no, like, so Gonzo inherits this mansion, and it's like a nice little, like, 40 to 50 minute feature. But, like, Gonzo has, like, an interesting narrative journey. They pair him with Pepe, which worked out really well. They had some fun celebrity cameos. I think Neil Patrick Harris was in there.
Of course.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you?
He's like a living Muppet anyway, so.
That's true.
Yeah. But no, like, if you get a chance, if you got Disney Plus, check out that Muppets Haunted Mansion. It's actually quite a bit of fun.
Okay, cool. I actually do have that. So
yeah. It felt like a nice little return to form, and I started watching that Electric Mayhem series. But you know how you get distracted with stuff. I watched the first 3 episodes, but really enjoyed it. But I need to finish it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Which it's neat that the Electric Mayhem get the focus, because I think they were always one of the more underrated parts of the Muppet Show.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree. I'm glad they got some. They got some attention there finally.
Yeah.
But that's my segment. I just wanted to talk about Muppets for a little bit because I love them so damn much.
If it were up to me, we would talk about Muppets every week. Love them.
Yep. Well, we will do an entire Muppet episode at some point.
Yeah,
I will just end by saying how much I loved Fraggle Rock.
I'm pretty sure a future game I'm going to pitch is like, okay, we're going to pitch Muppet movies. So,
yeah.
All right. So, do we want to do the game first, or do we want to talk about what the celebrity birthdays are today first?
Mike, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do celebrity birthdays, or do you want to do the game?
Either way, I don't care.
Okay, we'll start with celebrity birthdays.
All right,
so happy birthday to Sebastian Stan.
Oh, hey, Bucky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Captain Bucky O'Hare.
God damn it, motherfucker.
Happy birthday to Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, wow, that's a little problematic. There's a really good Behind the Bastards series on him, and that man was...
Yeah, no, he was a bit of a terror.
I mean... But, fantastic artist, but goddamn, son.
Yeah, he's definitely of an older Hollywood period. Still, it's like, I think it's an important milestone in
the art,
history.
not the artist.
Yeah. Like, Psycho is still amazing.
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, John Slattery.
John Slattery?
Iron Man's dad. Of course, I know him as, from Mad Men.
Okay, so we're talking about... Wait, we're talking about the one that looks like Walt Disney, not the one that played Preacher.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the one from Whose Line.
That's Tony.
Yeah, the Slattery just made me go.
No, I totally get that, dude. I totally get that.
Dawn Lewis, who is the voice of the captain in Lower Decks.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, let's see. Who else do we have here? Danny Bonaducci.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's his birthday today. Yeah.
That's something.
And, yeah, those are, like, the big names here. Wait, let me just go a little bit further. I could have sworn there was at least one more. Oh, yeah, okay, so this one's a little bit like more niche for me, but this is Michael Sinter Nicholas. He was the voice of Donnie on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, and he's also the voice of Dean Venture.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, those are the birthdays today that I felt like covering. So,
well, that's cool.
It's always just interesting to see who was born on the day that we record.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, so let's move into the game here. Alright, so I gave you a little warning ahead of time. So, we're going to talk about needle drops today. So, when I say needle drop, what do you think I'm talking about?
I'm guessing it's when, like...
The opposite of a record scratch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, you have a scene coming in, and it's like someone puts the needle on the record, and the big song for the moment plays. Mm-hmm. So we're going to establish a couple ground rules, all right? Mm-hmm. We aren't using orchestral scores here.
No, actual songs.
Yeah, it has to be a licensed song. Mm-hmm. And it has to, and it doesn't matter if it's diegetic or non-diegetic. We know what that is, right?
Pretend I'm an idiot and don't know.
Okay.
Explain it to me.
So diegetic sound is sound that's generated within the scene. Like if someone puts on a jukebox.
Okay, so not something that is actually playing.
Either God's playing it or it's playing in the scene itself from a radio or other source. Okay.
Exactly. And then non-diegetic being, whatever the sound, the that's kind of what we're working with here, and I want us to kind of think about like examples of what we think are really great needle drops in movies. Now, I'm going to start off with an example of a diegetic to non-diegetic needle drop in a movie, which was really interesting. Okay, so in the recent Ninja Turtles movie, because I saw it again, this is kind of what kicked off the thing for me. There's a moment where the mutants, there's a group of mutants, and they're in a van, and they decide to do a sing-along to a song on the radio. So they turn on the radio, and it's Four Non-Blondes with What's Going On, the original one. You know, I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed. Yes, right? So that's playing on the radio.
I think I've heard about this.
And then there's a part where the turtles cause the van to flip, and it transitions into... Do you remember that He-Man video, Slack Circus?
I wake up in the morning and I go outside. Yes.
Or it transitions to that, and you get this chase scene where that song is playing. So you have this needle drop of the original, and then it transitions to like a non-diegetic version for the action
that's fucking
scene.
Great.
And it was legitimately good, and I was so surprised that like the movie used they used that song, number one. Like I wouldn't have expected that in a Ninja Turtles movie, but it worked so fucking well. So I just kind of want to, what sort of needle drops do you guys remember, and see if we can figure out one that's like really good.
So the only one I can think of offhand, and I just literally just thought of it like 2 seconds ago, like when we started talking about it, is the Tron Legacy, when he's walking into the Flynn's arcade, and it's Journey.
Chills.
Dude.
Yeah, just dun 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 dun. That heavy bass line and drums kicking it off.
Dude, that's a good one, dude. Man, I gotta go back and watch that again. I love that movie.
Tron Legacy had another one. I don't know if I count this as a score because it is Daft Punk doing it, and even though they did the score, it's also a very Daft Punk song. But when they're in the end of Line Club and the fight starts, and then they literally start playing a track.
It's just them being them.
It's like them.
I don't know.
I mean, it's like the in-universe DJs. They had specifically a fight song already there.
It's they're sitting there going.
A fight breaks out, and they're like, I get to use the fight song.
But
I know. It's almost like they look at each other and it's like, I told you this would happen.
But it's also like they're so recognizably Daft Punk. How does that count in that? Because that's one of my prized possessions, actually, is I got the deluxe version of that soundtrack, and it came with a giant glow-in-the-dark poster of them in those costumes.
Oh,
Tron
awesome.
Legacy. Yeah, I got that shit framed, and I'm going to put it up eventually, but...
I know that's not like a great movie, but I fucking love that movie.
Dude. Like, it makes me cry.
Look,
thank you, Mike, for bringing that up.
No, it's good, and I'm glad they're finally actually going on with the sequel.
I just hate that they're not around anymore for it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, they're still doing projects separately. Maybe they might not do it as Daft Punk, but they could, come on.
I think they would probably bring on Joe Trapanese to do the score, because he did the Tron animated series, and that had really amazing music too.
Okay, but alternative, what if they brought in Deadmau5?
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, same. I really like Deadmau5.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. Just a different direction.
Just have a different, really cool techno artist that doesn't show their face.
Since it's in the real world, having a different, kind of sound would be interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you ever heard Deadmau5's The Veldt?
Maybe.
Okay, really good song. Just like, not like it. It's not really like his normal stuff, but it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And it's like an 11, 12-minute song, and there's like an 8-minute version, and then there's like a radio version.
So like every Daft Punk song.
Exactly. Thank you.
No, but I think that Tron Legacy example with Journey, like that's an amazing example.
Oh yeah.
And like that's the exact sort of thing that I was thinking about.
Oh, good. I'm glad I pleased.
Yeah. So, you want to know mine?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. The Kingsman.
Yes,
The first Kingsman movie, the church fight, Freebird.
Yeah, that one's an amazing one.
Because I was like, look, this is like one of the best fucking sequences. He's just murdering people to Freebird.
So, like that's such a fun fucking sequence too.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I love that scene. I've always loved that scene.
Now, I can think of two directors who do this needle drop thing all the time, and I'm trying to figure out who does it better.
Okay.
James Gunn or Quentin Tarantino?
You know, I hate Quentin Tarantino with a fucking passion, so I'm going to say James Gunn. And I'm surprised none of us actually mentioned any of the Guardians movies.
You know, that I figured it was going to get there eventually, because, you know, if you're talking about something like this, Guardians is going to come up. Especially
Honestly,
Guardians 2, the scene on the Ravager ship with Come a Little Bit Closer.
Yeah.
And then how it transitions into, like, the kind of orchestral version of it. Oh, dude.
Well, you know what one of my favorites is, actually, speaking of James Gunn, is that last big assault in Peacemaker where it's set to the theme song.
Yeah.
Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam. I just really thought that was a great one.
Yeah, like, James Gunn does that in, like, all of his movies. He always has that big musical set piece.
So, and sometimes he'll have multiple in. So James Gunn's kind of like the cheat sheet of that, because, you know,
he always does it.
He does it so often and so well.
I guess that's a good thing none of us brought him up, because it'd be too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that Quentin Tarantino's up there, too.
I fucking hate him, so...
I'm indifferent. I mean,
I like the Kill Bill movies, but I've never liked anything else I've seen him do.
Like, I think he's done some amazing movies. I do have, like, the 20th anniversary Tarantino box set, so, like...
Okay, that's fine. You're a fan. I know I'm kind of on the outside with this one.
But, you know, like, Kill Bill, I think there's some good needle drops in there. Like, I think one of his most iconic is always going to be the opening to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, what's it called? Dizzerloo?
Yeah, Miserloo by Dick Dale.
Yes.
But even then, like, I'm also thinking of Reservoir Dogs when they turn on the radio and it's Steelers Wheel.
I've never actually seen it.
It's fun. Like, it's fun. I don't know. Like, you don't like Quentin Tarantino, so all I can say is, like, it's fun.
It's fun if you like him. It's fun.
Yeah, but like again, like every single one of his movies has that. Like, for example, Django Unchained. There's a beautiful sequence where they're on the road with their horses, and it's to a Jim Croce song.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Like, did you ever see Django Unchained?
No. Because it was Tarantino, so I skipped it.
Give that one a try. That one's a lot of fun.
I've heard really good things about it.
I would say I don't like Tarantino as a person either, but I've not regretted watching any of his movies.
Well, I'll be the first to say he's kind of a dick.
I need to say the reason I have these feelings is because I saw Pulp Fiction and I fucking despised it.
How can you hate Pulp Fiction? I can understand not loving it.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, then again, you're
despised
Kevin.
is a strong word. I didn't like Pulp Fiction.
When was the last time you saw it?
20 years ago.
Okay, so here's the thing. When it came out, did you see it when it came out?
I didn't.
I think the problem is we had a mutual friend that hyped it up and it was like his favorite thing ever, and so he forced you to watch it, and he was like,
that'll ruin it for you. But you know, the other thing is, like, we think about film a lot differently now after Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction kind of like started that whole thing with the non-linear editing. With so many movies doing that now, it might be a little bit easier to swallow. I don't know if that was an issue.
It wasn't really the non-linear story stuff. I understood what was happening.
Okay.
The problem was I watched the movie and I felt like I needed a shower.
I didn't think anything was that fouling.
No, just the whole movie felt greasy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's supposed to be. I mean, it's
Tarantino.
It's pulp. It's
supposed
to be like dirty and gritty.
I did not like the movie, so.
I'm gonna say go ahead and give it a try. Or if not that, try Django Unchained.
Now, Django Unchained, I'm willing to check out.
Django Unchained. Here's the thing, Kevin. Are you comfortable with a movie made by a white man that has more N-words than any other movie in cinema history?
I am comfortable watching it if Jamie Foxx was okay making it.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Tarantino, the big thing.
Tarantino is problematic.
Why
he gave himself the dead N-word storage monologue in Pulp Fiction is beyond me.
Because I don't know, man. That's, oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
But he is legitimately talented as a director and writer.
And I will not argue that. Yeah. Because, like I said, I really did like the 2 Kill Bill movies.
His best movie is still Jackie Brown, though.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that one either.
Jackie Brown is like the Tarantino that you could like show anyone, I think, where it's like not entirely full of his more Tarantino tendencies.
Like feet.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's still feet in there and everything. Like, it's also Pam Grier getting like a starring role in a prestige drama. And it's got Robert Forster in it, and it's real fucking good.
See, that's a couple of his. I guess I could go back and try to watch.
Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That one's fun.
You couldn't finish it.
I think you would enjoy that. I mean,
tried to watch it
with stuff you like anyway.
I know you'd think that, and I tried to watch it, and I was just like, I don't like these characters.
It's probably his nerdiest fucking movie
and I feel like part of it was it's another one of those movies that somebody was hyping up and told me how awesome it was. And I just was not buying it at the time. And that's on me.
Yeah, and I would not hype up his movies. I would say they're, enjoyable. But I'm not going to say, like, they're the best shit ever.
Oh, I just, And the other thing, what was that other movie you did that? I was like, fucking From Dusk Till Dawn.
That wasn't him. That was Robert Rodriguez.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him either, but I just don't like his movies.
That was just, like... pure absurdity. You can't, you just don't take that seriously.
I did like that Rodriguez made him a pervert in that movie.
Yeah.
I think that was also his awakening into the foot thing. Because once Selma Hayek puts her foot in your mouth, you're pretty much a foot guy.
Didn't Tarantino write From Dusk Till Dawn? He just didn't direct it?
I don't
know.
I think he wrote it, but not directed it.
I don't think he intended to play her foot. I don't think he intended to play Richie Gecko, but I think Robert Rodriguez made him Richie Gecko.
Probably begged Rodriguez to make him that role. He's like, I wrote this role, and I really want to play it, man.
See, I don't think that was the
Quentin
case.
Tarantino.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought
it was written by Quentin Tarantino from a concept story by Robert Kurtzman.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, Tarantino, he's okay. I mean, he definitely has influenced Hollywood for better or worse.
Yeah.
Same with, other ones like, Nolan but then again, if it wasn't for these weirdo directors that, become, cult favorites and box office favorites, movies would be we just continue to get like Lethal Weapon 31 and shit like that. Movies wouldn't have changed if it weren't for those kind of directors.
Yeah,
for better or worse.
No, but getting back to the thing about the needle drops, like he's definitely one of those people who kind of like really established that as a aspect of filmmaking, I think. Like, because you've had it before, but just like the way that he executes that in some of his movies, like
he definitely wrapped popular music more tightly into the soul of a movie than just being part of a soundtrack.
Yeah,
he chose songs that were more tightly integrated into the flow of the movie.
Yeah. Like almost like the sequences are written around the song. I'm trying to think of some other like famous, or maybe not even famous, but other like really good needle drops. You know, because there's a lot of like examples of bad needle drops. Like Super Mario Brothers movie, you know, doing "Take on Me" in the especially when they had a beautifully orchestrated Donkey Kong song that they could have used that is actually on the soundtrack, but instead they put in "Take on Me." Didn't work. That being said, dropping the Beastie Boys at the beginning, that worked.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's one of those, you know, the other thing, like Super Mario Brothers movie, I think is a great example of like when the needle drop doesn't work, because then opening with the penguins and they have the battle without honor, you know, that one.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't really work.
There's enough music in the Super Mario games that they didn't have to do a lot of needle drops. And I was a little upset that they did.
I can understand putting one or two in for, you know, kind of crowd pleasing sake. But yeah, having too many when you already have such a solid backlog of scores to choose from.
Yeah, so I think like the Mario movie is a great example of like when it doesn't work.
Here's one that I think, like at the time I thought it was kind of neat, but on, you know, the older I get, the more I think back about it, the less I like it, is the Beastie Boys in the JJ Baby Star Trek movie.
Either of them, yeah.
I mean, that's just so out of place.
Well, you do get that great joke about it becoming classical music, which, like, honestly makes sense, but
here's the thing. It throws a certain bit of canon out there. Here's the thing, all right? Okay, so the Beastie Boys exist in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe. Mm-hmm. The Beastie Boys did a song that mentioned Mr. Spock.
Yes.
So we've got a weird-ass paradox going on.
Yes. But consequently, going back to Star Trek needle drops, a good one was Star Trek, the one where they went back to Zefram Cochrane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That Generations.
Yes, that was it was First Contact.
Yeah, First Contact.
With the Steppenwolf song Magic Carpet Ride.
That was great.
Yes, that's a wonderful scene.
Yep.
So, there's a good one.
Mike or Kevin, you got another example you can think of? Because I feel like there's a bunch of examples that are just kind of floating here in the ether, and I'm just trying to snatch some up.
Yeah, I know, and my brain is really fuggered now, so I'm not sure I could come up with anything.
The Star Trek one just came to me organically because you mentioned Beastie Boys. That made me think of the Star Trek Beastie Boys, which made me think of the Steppenwolf Star Trek one. So it's just kind of, Hey, it's hard to.
Where does Go Ninja Go fall in this from Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze?
The thing was, it was specifically composed for the film.
Yes.
Okay, so that's fair.
That's
more.
However, they do drop it in on the radio in the new movie at one point.
You're shitting me.
No, they do that.
They put Ninja Rap in there.
Yeah, they put the Ninja Rap in there for a moment. It's very funny.
Okay, well that's cool.
You know, the Super Mario movie. Getting back to that real quick, a good example of a needle drop that actually works is when DK comes out to the DK rap.
Yes,
that worked.
Well, how about here's one thing in Guardians Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with an acoustic version of "Creep" by Radiohead.
It's so good.
I know. But when it was that song, and it was the acoustic version, my very first fucking thought was, I'm going to cry in this movie.
Well, you know, and I think that's what we're getting at with a lot of these needle drops is they're like tone setters.
Yes.
Like getting back to that Tron Legacy example, Separate Ways is a sad song. And Tron Legacy is a sad movie.
It really is. It's about loss. And
so I think for a needle drop to really work, it has to kind of echo the theme of the movie or the show or something like that. or the moment at least, like in a really, really powerful way. Another great example. Again, we're going back to Guardians of the Galaxy here. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Yusef's fathers and sons during the Ravager funeral. It makes me cry every time. But again, it's so pivotal to the themes of the movie that it works so well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're trying to come up with rules to something here that, like, I don't know, smarter
there
people
are no
have done
rules.
it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been legitimate write-ups about how all this works, but it's really fun to think about this stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. And there are some really good examples. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of, my brain's shutting down. So.
Yeah, and I even gave you a warning.
I know, and I thought of one. I thought of a good one.
But no, I'm going to throw this out to the listeners. Go ahead and pitch, go to our Discord and pitch, needle drops that you love. Or I'd be curious.
And then tell us who you want to play what characters in Lord of the Rings Muppets.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those next distraction hole.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little pedantic or contrarian and say that I don't think Separate Ways is a sad song. Maybe it's more melancholic, but
sure, I could see that too.
I mean, it's upbeat, but I don't know. It's kind of talking about like parting, but in not a sad way.
Well,
exactly.
It's still like a transitional thing, but there's an element of sadness to the parting as well.
Well, yeah, I mean that's it's parting is such sweet sorrow.
But then again,
it's
that also
feeling.
It's reflecting the themes of Tron, because even though Sam loses his father, the ISOs now have a future.
He's got this kick-ass arcade.
and his internet girlfriend came to life.
This was at the beginning before all that. This is
right, yeah, like, but still
going into the arcade.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think you have a fair point there, and like this is something where we could probably do like a much longer, more in-depth discussion, and like actually like bring notes and put the shit together. But these are just little fun games.
I feel like on Distraction Hole, I'm the mic. Because I come in pretty unprepared and just chuck in ideas while you two talk. And I'm always like, this must be how Mike feels on Supernat.
I wasn't prepared. Like I said, I didn't, even though I was forewarned about the question.
You sound prepared, though.
Maybe it's just because my mind is more pop culture.
You also had a really good example, too.
Yeah, I just got lucky. Like I said, I thought of that off the top of my head like 2 seconds before I said it, so...
Oh, yeah, because I'm trying to, like, because you wouldn't count any, like, Disney films, like, because those songs are written for the movies, but I'm trying to think of a Disney film with, like, licensed music where they put that in that isn't, like, a Marvel movie.
Hey, how about that scene in the original Space Jam where the basketball gets shot and the song from Pulp Fiction starts playing, and it's Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam.
Oh, that's just a reference, sir.
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
Yes, it is.
The two gun-wielding maniacs. Yeah, but it's the two gun-wielding maniacs playing killers.
Man,
it was perfect.
You didn't even like the Vincent and Jules scenes in Pulp Fiction? John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson just.
I mean, everybody talked about how great it was. I'm like, they're talking about hamburgers, y'all. Y'all should calm down.
With cheese.
Oh, come on.
Because
that's a tasty burger.
Somebody else that made a movie with a lot of witty dialogue that I like better than that? It was Clerks by Kevin Smith. The first Clerks movie was like an ode to everything I feel about retail.
Clerks has a few needle drops. At least some of the later ones, but...
God, yeah, no, the intro to Clerks 2, set to Nothing But Flowers by Talking Heads, is great.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you're not gonna talk about what a Chewbacca.
What a Wookiee.
Chewbacca! What a Wookiee!
Again, I think that's part of a joke, so I don't know if we can count that.
But it's on the soundtrack.
It is on the soundtrack, and it was written for the movie. So,
okay. Or okay, so how about
anything by Soul Asylum in that movie?
Oh, I'm trying to think of one of the other songs, one of the other weird songs on there.
Okay,
Berserker, yes. There we go.
Do you want to suck my cock, Berserker?
Do you like to making fuck Berserker?
I love that. Oh my god, I love that movie so much. And I really like 2 as well.
$15, little man.
I haven't seen
Put that
3.
shit in my hand.
Oh, yes.
Hey, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot.
37 in a row? 3 is pretty good.
I've heard. I need to see it.
It's going to make you sad.
I figured.
Yeah. Another great needle drop. Back to the Future, Power of Love.
Yeah. All right. Nope. That tracks.
I think also like it works when like the song becomes like iconic because of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Power of Love is a great one. Like the ZZ Top thing doesn't hit as hard in Back to the Future 3, but Power of Love like really hits, especially because you have Huey Lewis in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, how about when no, that doesn't count. That's well, no, that is actually a song with lyrics. You know that song when the Ghostbusters get a call and they start running and the piano starts? Yeah, that's an actual song. So does that count?
I think
I guess. Yeah.
Again, it's like it's a far cry from like the way that they use separate ways in Tron Legacy.
No, I
you know
understand.
What I mean? Like, there's like we're trying to articulate something that's really hard to articulate here, but you just kind of know it, right?
Yeah,
but
you know it if it's right.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I think this has been a good discussion. I think Mike had the best example.
I kind of feel like
won.
Wow. Well, yeah, it's a game. I guess he won.
Yep, Mike's the best one.
But yeah, I'm dead.
I think that's good for the distraction hole this week. Hopefully you enjoyed your time in the hole. Watch out for the propane tank.
Yes.
Yes, we are in the propane tank version.
I've had my arm up in
this
the air
week.
this whole entire 2 hours.
I have had my arm up the ass of a pig.
Like, I literally have a puppet hanging on my coat rack over here. I could have brought the puppet over and just started playing with the puppet.
I could have brought Tom Servo down, but like he is real noisy.
I need to do something with that fucking puppet. I should probably just make a puppet from
I'm
scratch.
going to ask you not to, because I know a dude, and let me tell you, that is a sign of coming madness.
Just me talking to myself with a little felt person on my hand?
Yes, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. We told you that story, right?
Mm-mm.
He does these videos on Facebook of himself, of the puppet, telling you about meat sales.
Yeah, where at the supermarket he works, like not even a puppet. Like sometimes it's not a puppet. He
Sometimes
has like those
it's a pin.
He'll just take a pork chop and like make little hand motions with it.
No. You know those googly eyes that you can like put on your finger.
Oh Jesus!
Sometimes it's just his fucking hand with eyeballs.
It's just his hand with those eyeballs on it, and he's talking about the meat specials.
Why?
I hope he doesn't listen to this because
Yeah, but he's a puppet person.
He's got puppet
and when
brain.
I say that, yes, his brain is made of felt now.
Oh wow!
He has fallen to the madness.
Well, hopefully I go along there with him because I really want to start doing stuff with puppets.
But for the grace of God.
Right. Hey, I'm going to drag you there with me, Kevin. And then we'll also have Mike 3D print some puppet armor or something.
Oh, God.
And have, like, puppet fights.
I should make a Terry puppet from Aaron Apprentice.
There you go.
That is one thing I want to close on real quick. That watching Superman, My Adventures with Superman, if I ever get to make Aaron Apprentice animated series, I want Jack Quaid to play Terry Lingle.
That's a good fit, man. That is a
It really is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'd play Elton.
There you go. No, I can see it, and you do it in the Kermit voice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything you want to plug, Kevin, before we close out here?
Yeah, just stay tuned to this feed for the next episode of Supernatural Selection, brought to you by someone.
It'll be weak and weird, and it's going to be a weird one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, how about you, Mike? You got anything to plug?
No, I'm still,
still gloating over your victory in the game.
Yes, I'm the winner.
You're gonna go play some Journey.
Wiener, chicken dinner. I don't know what I'm doing.
Need to rewatch Tron Legacy now. Fuck.
Yep. Yeah, same.
I don't think I've seen it since in theaters.
Oh, I've seen it like 5 times.
Dude, yeah, I've seen that movie way too many times to count.
And
I got it on Blu-ray,
and we saw it in 3D, and I do like the attempt to kind of do like
where it went 3D in the digital world,
kind of like the Wizard of Oz did, where it was black and white, except in color in the
in Oz.
Whereas this was only 3D in the.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's a real good fucking movie. I think we should discuss that next time.
I think we should have a great unsung movies episode.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do I have anything to plug?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah. Don't buy Diablo 4 yet. Wait for them to improve it. Otherwise, I swear to God, I'm getting back into doing comics soon. Again, a lot of stuff going on. The RG Bots update archive. We're moving into the last year of updates now. Yep. We're gonna get that knocked out, and then RG Bots is coming back.
Woo! I love that. I love that mess.
And then I'm also gonna try to do the public domain web. You remember the public domain webcomic where I took old public domain comics and kind of did an MST3K thing with robots?
Yeah, I did 1 or 2 for you.
Yeah, I want to bring that back, but I just realized that transcribing those pages, because I think transcription's important. Internet accessibility is important for everybody. So transcribing those is going to be a motherfucker of a task.
Ain't it, though?
Yeah.
I'm going to charge a double on those.
No, I'll probably take care of those myself, because I got to go back and fix some of them. So anyway, so just keep an eye out. Comics coming back soon, I swear. You can always join the Supernatural Selection Discord. That's at supernaturalselectionpod.com/Discord, right?
I think so, or you can find it by going to supernatpod.rocks/Discord.
Yeah, so join us on the Discord, hang out with us. We're eventually going to start live streaming shit, hopefully. I want to start doing a movie night.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I have so much cheesy horror trash that I want to inflict on everybody. And that's my gimmick. Okay. That's my niche.
We screwed that up. It's actually discord.supernatpod.rocks.
Thank you for being the responsible one. And with that, we're going to go ahead and fill in this distraction hole and dig it up for next week. So,
yeah,
we got to bury all the poop Mike left.
All holes filled with hot distractions.
Yep.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good and dirty bed.